Hey everyone, it's Brandon here with Front Page Pop, bringing you all the latest in celebrity news and reality TV. I am here with the amazing, talented, beautiful Angelea Preston from America's Next Top Model Cycle 14, and also the winner of America's Next Top Model All-Stars Cycle 17. Welcome, Angelea.
Period. Hey, boo. Okay, let the people know real quick how many times we done had to run this back because of technical issues. Okay, not on your end, but on my end. Okay, because every
Maybe
time,
like six.
yes, okay, takes it like what's the thing they be using? Take one, take two, take three. That's what we need. Okay, what is that?
I don't know what that's called. A marker? Marker?
Is it a marker? Okay, that's what
Maybe.
we need, baby. Because what the hell? The Wi-Fi just don't. It's not Wi-Fi right now. Not on my
No,
end.
it's not. It's trying to give you a break on Sunday.
Okay. And I'm like, I want to talk. Okay. The girl
we're
wants to chat.
we're getting into it.
Okay. I want to be a chatty patty. You
So we
ready?
are here to talk about the Netflix documentary on America's Next Top Model, your upcoming documentary appearance on E, also on America's Next Top Model, and just all things top model in your experience.
Yes. I'm excited.
Yes, so let's jump in. What did you think of the documentary? We'll kind of go into specifics, but just give me your general thoughts.
I love the documentary. I did not think that it was gonna make waves. How much it's been making waves? Like everybody is talking about it. I knew it was gonna be big because Netflix, right? And I knew that it was gonna be even bigger because Tyra had signed on. But
Yes.
baby, everybody and their mama, their granddaddy, okay, the dogs, everybody's talking about this. Everybody has something to say. And I'm the memes, the
Mhm.
reenactments, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all just I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Do I
It's
feel
great.
like they could have dug deeper? Oh yeah. I wanted more episodes. I feel like
Hmm.
they could run it back. They could do a part two, three, four, five. Every single cycle could get its own little, deep dive. You know what I mean? Because it's so much.
Exactly.
It's so many girls have been on the show and have their own story to tell, and all of our stories are important. So they could run it back. Okay.
Yeah,
And I'm listening
I'm ready.
in. Me.
And yes, why wasn't Angelina there? We'll talk about that. But Tyra really
Yes.
didn't take accountability for that much, if anything. So, what do you think in your eyes? Obviously, you don't speak for everyone, but for yourself and maybe some of the other contestants, what do you think in your eyes like would have made it okay or for them to like accept her apology and move on, if anything?
So I feel like that her even coming to the table and even sitting down and being a part of the documentary,
Mhm.
knowing that it may not go well in her favor because of her relationship with these three people. They fell out. She
Yeah.
fired them. She canned their asses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was all good. It was all good when y'all was judging. And then when she fired y'all, you know. So, but I feel like, she had the option to do it. And maybe like this was like her olive branch, like her peace offering to them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna sit down and talk about it. But then also when she announced the cycle 25, it's like, okay, mother is mothering. She is strategic right now, So I don't know what the
Yeah.
case is. That's just my perspective. Do I feel like that she took accountability? I mean, maybe in her own way she did. I don't know. I don't really care if she did or not. For me, the whole thing was that she participated in the documentary and everybody for the most part is lighting her ass up.
Yeah.
And I feel like that Ken Mock, who is also the creator of the show, and in my opinion is over her in terms of making decisions. Why he
Yeah.
ain't get why he ain't get as much smoke as her? You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
did not. Like
Barely in
he
it.
yeah, and he was right. He wasn't really in it. And it's like, of course, we want to see Tyra because, is her, she was famous before the show, you know, supermodel, and this is her thing, this is her baby. But also we have to acknowledge that Ken Mock definitely played a part. And then the judges, they played a part. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because it was all good until it wasn't good. You know, they said some things, and as we saw in the documentary, you know, for example, with Kenya, when she was trying to tell them she, you know, I don't feel comfortable with what is going on, and like they were just like, well, and you know, and then
Yeah.
it's like, so y'all not innocent, and they going on
Mm-hmm.
a press tour. Child, this press tour baiting, but every damn where. Entertainment Tonight, the Sherry Show, and I'm just like, hmm. So, you know, I was snooping a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I went on Mr. J page, and somebody asked him, and they were like, you know, it seems like y'all on this hate train, like y'all just coming at Tyra about how villainous she was, and y'all not taking no accountability. Y'all going on this press tour, and he was like, Netflix is paying for them to go on the press tour, sending them out.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix, come on, give some love to the women, because they are just the contestants. They are just as equally worthy of having their name in the spotlight once again, because social media is
Yeah.
so big now. You know what I mean? Let them get some shine. You know, let Ebony get some shine. Let Kenya get some shine. Let Dion, Shannon, Giselle,
Mm-hmm.
Bre. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like
It
Shannon,
yeah, it's so crazy
it's so
that
crazy, right? Like,
it
come
was a
on,
documentary about
their
how much
experience.
contestants suffered and their experience with it. And yeah, obviously we got to hear a little bit about the judges and their experience, which is awesome. But if the whole documentary is about the contestants and the show and what they experienced, why are we sending the people who also contributed to that bad experience
and
on the press
benefited
and benefited?
because what I have said, maybe not publicly, but what I will say is that the opportunities that the judges have gotten from the show, nobody knew who Nigel Barker was, nobody knew who Jay Manuel was, nobody knew who Miss J was until that platform.
Yeah.
And the deals they got, Mr. J went on to host Canada's Next Top Model, and he, you know, they all became celebrities. He became a
Yep.
correspondent for, I think, E or something, and then, you know, Miss J became famous and did what they do, and Nigel became this famous photographer who may have been known in the fashion world but wasn't known on that big international scale, and that show gave them that. But those opportunities should have also been given to us, because that is why I know that's why I came on there. I didn't come on
Mhm.
the show to be a reality star. And you know, even though I came on cycle 12 and it was like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you know, you kind of know by now what the game is. Okay, why, you know, so many girls have already came on the show, and where are they now? You don't hear about them, but then you have that mindset like, but I'm me. I know what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah.
I have what it takes.
Yeah.
And then after, you like, well, goddamn, shit, this shit didn't happen to me too. Goddamn.
And actually, Krista, who was your co-star on Cycle 14, she talked about that a lot on social media, throughout the past few days. She was like, kind of addressing critics, I guess, who were like, well, you saw what happened to all the other winners. Why did you think you would be any different? And she was like, you're right. I did think I would be different because I assumed, just like, casual viewer, that after they won, they were just expecting things to be handed to them and they weren't pounding the pavement. And she was like, but, I was out there, I was going to gigs, I was talking to my agent, like doing all this stuff, and it just didn't happen.
And she
So,
is absolutely, absolutely right. And I remember her winning, and you know, I thought that the agencies will be calling me, because you heard those stories that, you know, the girls that didn't win, well, the last few girls that would make it on a specific cycle, they would get signed. And on
hmm
my cycle, Raina got signed, Alex got signed, and, you know, Alex and me were the top three, top four, however you want to look at it, right?
yeah.
And Raina and Krista were in the final too. So all three of them were signed. And
hmm
then me, I was the lone wolf. And I said, oh my God. I said, I'm the only one. No agencies have reached out to me. Like, I was scared. You know, I was nervous. I'm like, why? Like, I made it so far. I made
Yeah.
it so far, you know? So, I went to New York City when Krista was down in the city, and she had like a sublet apartment. I think it was like in the upper east side or the west side of Manhattan. It was somewhere nice, okay? And it was very costly, okay? And it wasn't worth the cost. I don't anything in New York City really isn't worth the cost, right? Because it's like you pay
Yeah.
this amount of money and it's a box, you know?
Yeah. You're in a closet.
Yeah, you want a closet, okay? So, she took me on castings with her. You know what I mean? Like, because she knew how hard it was for me. Nobody wanted to sign me. She's like, girl, you my girl. Like, you coming on this casting with me. You know what I mean? So, like, I always am appreciative and thankful for that. Because she didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? But that's that love that was there between us. So, mhm.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
Me too. And I
Yes.
miss her.
I know y'all need a reunion for sure.
I know she probably ain't messing with me no more, child. Okay, she probably like, that ship done sailed. You know what I mean? Like, I hear she's married now. So, and
Hmm.
I saw pictures of her in her wedding dress, and she looked absolutely beautiful. So I wish the best for her because she deserved it.
Yeah, she does. That's awesome. Well, also, we kind of talked about this a minute ago, but it surprised me also, like how Mr. J was kind of like, "Oh, I didn't have anything to do with anything," and after the first few seasons, like, I didn't even do the creative, and like, it definitely seemed like he was passing the ball. They were playing, hot potato, ping pong, whatever you want to call it, with the count
Yeah,
and the blame.
and oops, sorry, I was just gonna say, and I remember him saying in the doc that he was the creative director, I think, through seasons 1 through 8. So him and Tyra were laying in the bed like two besties, two friends, laying in the bed, coming up with stuff, coming up with shoots and things like that. So how could you, try to not take any accountability or try to just blame it on one person? You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
everybody played a role, like
Yeah,
they all
exactly.
played a role.
Did you experience any hardship with him behind the scenes as far as like I mean, obviously there's like little bitey comments here and there. It's reality TV. Take your sip, sip the tea. But was there anything kind of like major that you can recollect and you're like, "Wait a minute, that wasn't right."
There was an incident in the
Okay.
All-Star cycle. And I don't know how much I want to delve into because I want to say some stuff from my book because people keep saying, girl, if you tell it all, nobody's going to want to buy your book. But mm, he
Up to
says something. I'm going to be vague. He says something to me that really bothered bothered the FUCK out of me.
you. Hmm.
And when I went into my confessional, I just wasn't given what I normally give. And the producers, they noticed that and they were like, what's wrong? And I was honest with them. And then I guess they talked to Jay behind the scenes. And then that next filming,
Hmm.
he talked to me about it. Did I believe where he was coming from? No. No, I didn't. But that'll be my book if y'all want to know what he said. Okay.
We sure, sure do. And we will be reading.
Period. Okay. Um, but let me say this about Mr. J. Mr.
Yeah.
J can beat some face, okay? Because that cover girl, Cycle 17 cover girl, they had a stylist, a makeup artist, a Greek makeup artist, and she did okay. But when Jay saw my face, he was like, "Mm-mm." He said, "We gotta fix this," and he beat. So what you see, that cover girl photo, is Jay beat my fucking face. So that man is extremely
Wow.
talented,
Yeah.
phenomenal makeup artist. Like, oh my God, I could put him in my pocket. You know what I mean? Like, but I can't afford him. Okay.
Well, he had
And
his own beauty line and products at one point. Oh Lord. Here we go.
I don't want them damn products. I want the real thing. Okay. He probably don't use his products. Okay.
Oh. Oh. Okay. It doesn't matter what the products you're saying you need him to do it.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I feel like he could take the dollar store makeup and make your face pop. You know what I mean? Like, So, but let me say something else about Mr. J.
Yeah.
You know when Mr. J was promoting his his book, The Wig, the Bitch, and the Meltdown, and
Hmm.
him and Miss J were interviewing girls. Do you remember that, right?
Yeah.
In anticipation, sorry, moving around now. In anticipation for his book. So I was like, oh God, I'm kind of dreading, um, if when they talk about the All-Star cycle, because who are they going to choose? So when Jay had did the series, his Instagram series, where he was going to delve into the behind the scenes of each cycle, and then Miss J pulled out after I don't know the early he pulled out.
Yeah.
So I was nervous about him doing cycle 17 because of course he knew what happened. Of course, nobody really knew at that time what had happened to me other than I was disqualified and I disappeared off the face of the earth, right? So I'm like, oh boy, I wonder how they're gonna spin this. But then when he got to cycle 14, he had a chat with Krista, who, for those top model fans that know, Krista's definitely a part of my story with cycle 17, even though she wasn't on there, but in a positive way, not in a negative way. So I want to make that clear. Um, so when Jay teased the interview with Krista, he was like, basically saying that Krista had the cycle 17 tea and she was gonna spill the cycle 17 tea. I said, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, what the? Why would you? She wasn't even on the cycle. Like, yes, she know, but what happened to me? Because she was, she knew.
Mhm.
So, but why would you? Why would you have her talk about what, like, that cycle? She wasn't even on that cycle, and that's my friend. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I was very upset, very upset. And so the fans were like, did you know about this? And I said no. So I made a post about it. And I was like, when they go low, we go high. I said, I'm like, I'm not with that. I don't rock with that. So then the fans was asking him, like, Angelique said, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, oh no, I talked to Angelique. We're good. We're good. I said, this motherfucker ain't say shit to me. He has not reached out. I said, he is lying. I said, I have not talked to Jay. I have not talked to Jay since production wrapped, whenever the hell that was. How many years ago? You know what I mean? So that irritated me because I was just like, so you want my friend to spill the tea, the dramatic and traumatic
Yeah.
experience that I had between 14 and 17 to increase your viewership. And then you lie to the fans and say that you spoke to me and that, I was cool with it. What? At least give me the decency. First of all, don't lie on my name.
Right.
And then, that's why I always like looking at this documentary that came out. I'm like, just looking at him like, just a little side eye, just because of what he said in regards to my situation. You know what I mean? So, mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up, honestly. I mean, to like try to use your friend for
For
telling your
clout.
story.
Yeah. Because it's not her story to tell,
Right.
And and she to this day has never told it. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
and back at in that time, I was overwhelmed by it all. So I didn't handle it in the best way that I should have. You know what I'm saying? And what should have been a phone call to her was not. So that pretty much ended me and her friendship.
Mm.
And I know she would never talk about it unless I wanted her to. You know what I mean? Because she never did that before. So, but it was just really messed up. You know what I mean? Because I was just so on guard, and I was just like, it just pissed me off because I was like, y'all treated me like shit after the show. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
y'all acted like I had the plague. Y'all acted like I committed murder. You know what I mean? Y'all acted like I did like something so terrible that like now I got a scarlet letter on my damn forehead, and
Hmm.
now no one can be associated with me. Like it was wrong. It was wrong to make me feel that way because I did not deserve that. Did not.
100%.
And then you're gonna try and use what happened to me to promote your damn book.
Whew, that is horrible.
Okay.
That's so bad. Like, ugh,
It's so crazy.
I'm sorry that happened to you. And
Oh,
I mean, that's messed up. Like, he could have, I mean, talk about press. If he wanted press, he could have asked you.
you could have asked me directly.
Right.
But I think he knew that I wasn't fucking with them.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at that time, because it's like, he probably was like, yeah, I know, I'm not even gonna bother reaching out to her because she gonna cuss me out because I haven't reached out to her before to see if she was okay. Now I want to reach out to her to help me promote my book. She gonna know. She gonna know what this is. And yeah, I would have known what it was. So, no.
Yeah. That's fair. Was he, and if you don't want to or can't answer this, we can cut it out, whatever. But was he, I guess, privy to or a part of the whole situation when it came to the disqualification and the lawsuit after and like all that kind of stuff?
That I'm not sure. I'm not sure. When I watched them, the re-edited version, the
Mhm.
version with Allison and Lisa,
Yeah.
he was one of the final judges. So I don't know. Because in his documentary, he says that things for him and Tyra kind of got to a bad place after he said he didn't want to renew for Cycle 9.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know how much he knew because he says that basically he wasn't, communicating with her. It was business. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So who knows?
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if you knew or not, and that had something to do with it, but that makes sense since they weren't.
What I would have liked to see because the producers from the Netflix doc did ask me to participate, and they did ask me, but the e-doc was filming at the same time. And I did the e-doc first, and because of contracts,
Yeah.
but I see that Kenya did both. So I was like, damn girl, she ain't give a fuck about no contract.
And Joanna, I guess, even though we didn't
And
see her.
Joanna, even though we didn't see her in the Netflix one. So yeah, I wonder like what happened with that. But also Ebony. I saw Ebony. Funny enough, after I filmed my interview for the e-doc, I saw her and I was like, oh my God, girl, hi. Because it had been so long. The last time I saw Ebony, she probably doesn't remember, was when I was signed to a modeling agency in New York City. Shout out Ben. Um, MMG. And I would just always used to go there and me and Ben would shoot the shit. And then Ebony came in. I was like, girl, I am a fan. So that was years ago. So it
Yeah,
was good to see her again. And she looked good. She's so positive. I love her. Like,
that's
she's just a
awesome.
positive person. But yeah, they asked me to do it, but I couldn't because I already did the E one. But I wonder, had I participated, oh, I'm almost positive they would have asked Tyra and Ken and Nigel and the Jays about what happened. So I would have loved to hear their perspective. You know what I mean? Because to my knowledge, they're not a part of this documentary. So I'm not going to hear their perspective, but I would have loved to hear what happened behind the scenes from their eyes as far
Hmm.
as everything that happened with me. Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, do you think it's something like they just would have been like, oh, that was like above my head, like we crowned her the winner, and then the execs said,
Yes, probably. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Ask Tyra.
yeah, right,
And then Tyra would have been like, as they put the lower third on, when she said, I didn't have a hand in production, and then it says executive producer. You see,
oh, that's funny.
but to her defense, it's a network. There's a lot of
Oh
people. Everyone saw Dawn, who was the head of UPN at the time, before it became CW, and so I met Dawn, for cycle. I can't remember cycle 12 or 14, but I definitely met her in person because
yeah.
the models, we had to meet the head because she had to get the okay We had to get the okay. Tyra had to get the okay. Everybody had to. It wasn't shit flying unless the UPN, unless Dawn said it was. So I think people need to understand that yes, it's Tyra's baby. It's her show. She's EP. She's creator. I'm sure she had a lot of her hands in things, but also, like she said, she answers to a boss.
Yeah.
There's many networks that are involved in this. You know what I'm saying? So like advertising and CoverGirl has to have a say. It's just a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That makes sense. And we saw Dawn did not give a crap.
she ain't give a fuck.
She said,
Okay,
she said, I don't regret anything we put on TV. It was TV.
okay, okay. It's TV. She ain't care. And then you see how though, like she said, they all said they shopped the show around to every network, and every network said no.
Hmm.
UPN was the only network that said yes. So
So they have to, bend to her to some degree because no one else wanted it.
yeah, nobody
Yeah.
nobody was messing with it except for UPN.
Yeah. At least at first. Yeah.
At least at first, right?
Sure, they were all fighting for it later.
Okay, they was at his peak. He was like, God damn, shit,
Yeah. Right.
we dropped the ball on this.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So that's one elephant kind of in the room that you weren't a part of it, and we just heard why. And unfortunately, they didn't talk about your story anyway, but
They
I,
skipped right over that shit.
yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because you weren't there to give your side, even though we've like heard a little bit of your side anyway, but whatever. We'll let it go. But
No.
I think that's it for now. There were a couple other things too, like really, really big moments that define the show. Obviously, Shandy's was one of them. We saw a lot about that, thankfully. And I think Adrian, her not getting her prizes at the end and basically being wiped away from top model and like all the credits and everything, that was another big one. And then I think also there wasn't a lot of talk about people who I guess like really hit the rock bottom. So whether that being Renee
Yeah.
or, JL, God rest her soul, or, Kimberly, unfortunately passed away as well. Mariana from a later season, she passed away. So it just felt like this big hole that was missing from that I
You
wish.
know what? Oh yeah, I agree. Because I feel like that, and that's why I say part of it is they only hit the surface. You know what I mean? Because like some girls had good experiences, after the show and worked out well for them, but most didn't. And then, a few, myself included, went down a dark path.
Hmm.
And um I just I don't know why that wasn't touched on. I have my assumptions as to why. Because a lot of those things are kind of ugly to talk about.
Yeah,
And you see how they dropped the ball with the stuff they did show. Nobody wants to take accountability.
true.
Um, how do you talk about what happened to Renee? How do you talk about what happened to Kimberly? JL, um, my girl Mariana. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
how do you talk about that stuff and not make it? I mean, awkward. You know what I'm saying? Like,
while also not taking accountability.
and also exactly like people are like dogging y'all now, talking about y'all passing the ball. Just I mean, it'll
Hmm.
really kind of show how out of touch
Hmm.
that they really were. And how much that they didn't care about the girls after the show. No, I'm not saying you know that all of them didn't have their favorites. And I heard stories about Nigel keeping in contact with girls after the show and doing projects with them. I've heard things about him in that regard.
Yeah.
um the other judges, I'm not too sure. Andre, definitely. I kept in contact with Andre after
Oh,
cycle 14. Yes. And that was someone that cared. So, and I think when people care, they show you that they care. You
hmm.
know what I mean? Like whether it's not even just, can you sign me to a modeling agency? Is,
Mhm.
hey, I think there's a casting you should go on. I'll tell such and such you're coming. If you truly saw the potential in
Right.
any of it, all it would take, because you guys all have such a big platform, is to make that call, or to even just say, hey, I think you would be a good fit for this, a good fit for this. Now, I have heard that Tyra has helped girls after the show. Not just Celicia, but um, a few girls.
Yeah.
Um,
I know
you
she's
know,
worked with Allison some
yes,
on some
Alex.
Tyra Beauty and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they had their favorites on who they saw potential in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but goddamn, what the fuck, y'all lied to the rest of us, because y'all said y'all saw potential in all of us.
Hmm.
Shit, why are we here?
Especially like the final few girls of each cycle. Like obviously, I mean, obviously you were amazing and you weren't one of those who was like dragged along just for potential or just because your personality was awesome, which it was. But you also had modeling ability and you pulled out amazing photos and commercials and, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, why would you? I don't know. As a fan, it just still doesn't really make sense. I get that they don't have anything to owe you, but also it would bring so much more credibility to them if
Yeah,
more people were successful in mod.
absolutely. Right. Because it wouldn't look so bad on their part that, girls have actually had careers, from this show. You hear from the other versions, like Germany's Next Top Model, Australia's Next Top Model. They have girls, and they have had girls that are working, that are legit models. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And it's just like, damn, maybe I should have moved to Australia like
Yeah,
Tyra
right.
did. Okay. Maybe I should have moved to Germany. You know what I mean? Shoot, maybe they just don't get it here in the States?
Just
Um,
follow Tyra to Australia.
okay, because baby, what? Shit.
No. And even like it even bothers me when they have brands and businesses now. And I get maybe they want to separate themselves from Top Model 2, just like some of the contestants did afterwards. But it's like if you're trying to sell to your top model audience, or a lot of them came from Top Model, why would you not like do everything you can to like promote it with them or use them in this campaign and stuff like that? I know there was some here and there, like Mr. J used like Anne Markley from Cycle 3 for like his J Beauty, and then Tyra used Allison. But I just feel like there could have been a little more for sure.
Oh, for sure. There were definitely missed opportunities.
Mm.
Especially while they promoted their own brands, and I'm sure needed models. Why not use a girl that was on the show? I don't care who the girl was.
Right.
You know, they all were on the show. You
Mm.
you fed them all these critiques at panel, and told them they can model, and here's your best shot, and now you got a beauty line, or you got some other thing that would have the use of a model.
Hmm.
Yet you're not using any of the girls that were on the show.
Right. Does make sense.
Yeah, make it make sense, because it don't.
Yeah,
Okay, and that's why people mad, because they see through the bullshit. Okay.
exactly. We do. I want to ask more about Andre. When you say, he helped you and y'all talked some kind of after cycle 14. Yeah, tell me some more about that.
Yeah. Andre always loved the black girls. Always loved the black girls, because, you know, the black girls have the hardest time in the industry. And that's just the fact, right?
Yeah.
And especially my chocolate sisters, have an immensely hard time, more than any other female, because of just, stereotypes,
Mhm.
and just going back to history, the generational trauma, not being told that your skin tone was beautiful. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and just for me, being lighter skinned and growing up in the area that I grew up, and my mom is white, my dad is black, but I always identify more as a black woman
Hmm.
because of the area I grew up in. And that's just, I don't deny my whiteness, but, I'm a black girl. But I used to be like, I wish I was dark skinned. Like, I mean, dark skinned, so that I wouldn't have to um, prove my blackness. You know what I mean? And so when I would hear like conversations, I'm not even just on the show, but I'm getting into some real shit now.
Yes, bring it.
Like just the talk of colorism and when I hear um girls that I've been friends with that are darker skin,
Hmm.
and they've said they're insecure about their complexion, and I'm just like, what? Like, are you crazy? Like, there's just something so regal and so beautiful about the black woman, period, but about just a beautiful, like the way your skin touches the sun, just
Hmm.
melanated, and just you age like fine wine. You know what I mean? Like, you don't gotta go out and tan to get that tone. Like, your skin tone is already beautiful. And here I am, I want people to see me for what I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Hmm.
want to have to prove my blackness. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to have to prove
Yeah.
my blackness. I don't want when y'all see my dad and y'all be like, oh, oh yeah, she black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but going back to Andre, sorry, I'd be going on a tangent.
No, it's okay.
Um, Andre always had a thing for the black girls,
Hmm.
and the urban girls. You know what I mean? The girls that are the underdogs, right? So, um, he told Krista, give Angeli, my email address. We wasn't that chummy now, I wasn't gonna get the number, but I was happy with the email address. Okay, I was happy with the
Yeah.
personal email address. Okay,
Yes.
so, he sent me on some castings, and I didn't book them, but he sent me on some high fashion castings, and like I was like, thank you,
Hmm.
because oh my god, like that showed me that you ain't in it for the TV, you
Hmm.
ain't in it to try to elevate yourself. You really want to see me succeed. You want to see the girls succeed and
Hmm.
have a career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's
rest
amazing.
in peace to Andre.
Yes, rest in peace. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm about to like cry. Um,
Oh no, don't cry.
no, it's
Don't
just
cry. It's
so
gonna be
sweet and
okay.
amazing. So it's great to see. But he loved, yeah, I mean, he loved you, Alasia, Krista, especially
Yes.
during your season. He was like, he said, as he said, cauldrons of love for Alasia he had,
Oh
and
yes.
on
Alasia is so tea. Beautiful.
love.
Okay, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Alasia done been on the damn hair relaxer boxes. Like I remember one time I went into Family Dollar, um, and I was going, I don't know, probably get some diapers or something. And she was on, what was she on, the Dark and Lovely or the olive oil relaxer box? I said, you go, bitch. Cause she
Yes,
was looking so good and so beautiful. And I'm telling you, that skin, uh,
she's so beautiful. It's
she's
insane.
so gorgeous. Gorgeous.
So when we were talking about go-sees, so when it comes to go-sees, specifically on cycle, well, you didn't really go to go-sees on cycle 17, but on cycle 14 in New Zealand, you booked 6 out of 6, legendary, iconic, unheard of, amazing.
Period.
I want to ask, like, how does that work? Is obviously they aren't real castings as far as like you booking a job right then and there. But is it something where it's like, okay, they provided this realistic, whether, yes or no, they provided that realistic feedback. And even though I didn't win, like, I'm Angelie and I just booked 6 out of 6, so I can go to New Zealand and go on their go sees again, and maybe I'll book some of those.
Yes.
That's
Like,
the case.
that is you hit it, because it was just, first of all, going to New Zealand was totally different. Like, just the way they produced and way everything was just different, right?
Mm.
And then they for that one, we had to be back at the location at a certain time. This was
Right.
like, this is, you got to make your go see, you got to be back here. And this, I feel like this was like an accurate representation of what happens in the real modeling world. You got a certain amount of time and you can't be late.
Yeah.
And I was so serious. It was raining. I was like, oh my God, my hair,
Yeah.
y'all done seen it. Shit was just, okay. I ain't had no gel, no nothing. Oh my God, I'm just going there, be confident, be prepared. Lord. And that's what I did. And I gave that, okay? And then I made it back on time. And I was like, boop, boop. Now, do in the TV magic,
Mm.
do I know if the producers maybe, told them to just, say that you would book me because, it feeds into the storyline they're trying to create? I don't know. But I feel like that the designers were genuine. So
That's a,
I want to feel that way, okay? Because
yeah.
shit, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, I'm that bitch.
Yeah. And
I
you
booked
were.
all
And you
okay.
were.
I booked all 6 go sees.
Yes.
None of y'all did. I
Nope.
did that.
I mean, it did seem genuine. I mean, some of them were like, "Oh my gosh, we love Angelique so much. She would be fun to just." I forget that one lady, or that one go see. She was like, "She would be so much fun just to have her hanging around as a model, just like around the store, because she's so fun."
Oh my
So
god, I
that
can't
was
remember who said that. Was it Sybil or I can't remember. I
who's
don't.
the blonde, the shorter, blonde lady with the guy. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. I got her. I think that might have been Sybil. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think Sybil had brown hair. You know what? I'm gonna have to watch it now.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember either, child.
All I remember is 27 names booked, but I don't know if it was that one.
Kate Sylvester booked, and it probably was 27 names. It probably was.
I said
You know,
27 guesses. That's a movie.
you
But
know, it is 27 names, ain't it? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I was like, wait, don't. I was like, wait, child. Like, I still have my stuff. Like, I still have the dresses and the bracelet from one of the designers. Like,
Uh-huh.
I, I have some stuff from Cycle 17. Um, and like it's like in like a box, but just to have that, like I look at it and I was like, damn, like I did some cool shit. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
regardless of what happened, everything that I've been through, it got me to this point to where I'm supposed to be, and I could look back on it now, and I have looked back on it for a while. Like, you know what? I did that.
Mm-hmm.
What a time. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad. So, um,
Love
I
that.
am appreciative of being afforded the opportunity to go on the show, not one, not two, but 3 times. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So I needed everything to happen the way it happened in order for me to be in my purpose now and to have the career that I have now and to have my son. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Brandon, had the original been left alone,
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that my son would not be here. And I say that because um during that time I had stopped messing with his dad. I was like, oh man, fuck this motherfucker. I'm about to I'm going back on I'm going on All-Stars. Man, he ain't shit. And then I won and I was like, oh yeah, he
You were there
does.
with Tyson Beckford.
Okay, I was like, oh, I'm about to get me a celebrity, honey. I'm about to get me a basketball player because I know I'm about to take this win and run with it. I know what to do now. I'm about to be that model that's on a singer's arm. I'm about to do it, man. Fuck
Mhm.
him, okay? And then when they called me and was like, oh, well, we can't air you as the winner and blah, 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 blah. I was like, let me go ahead back to what I know. But going back to my son's dad
Mhm.
is how I got my son. And when I tell you I love that boy, when I tell you that boy is my life, when I tell you I love me some Bijou, his real name is Eric, but we call him Bijou. When I tell you that boy is a gift, baby.
I love that. That's awesome. If he's anything like you, I'm sure he's amazing.
He is, and I love him, and I would do it 100, 1,000 times over. I would go through it all again, all the pain, all the not knowing what I was going to do next
Mm-hmm.
after, they took my shit from me. I would go through all, and baby, that was a time that I don't want to experience again
Right.
because it was so rough. But if I had to go through it again to have my son, absolutely,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
And I want to ask, like, you just talked about your time after cycle 17 and having your son. Did you ever try to model again after cycle 17, or were you like, no, this is too tainted now, I can't do it?
Um, I did some modeling when I was pregnant. I was with a maternity agency.
Oh, that's awesome.
Excuse me, in the city because
Uh-huh.
I lived in the city. With my now ex husband and his family. So I was like, let me get into the pregnancy modeling. I went on a few castings, didn't book anything, but after when my son was like a month old, um, when my son was a month old, is when things just really got bad between me and his dad, and I was just, my family was like, "Girl, just come home, come home. You need
Yeah.
to be around your family," And I was dealing like with postpartum, and my son was when I came back to Buffalo, I found out he had a milk allergy. But down in the city, like he was just so colicky, and it's like, being a mom again, because I didn't get to experience taking, my daughter Giovanna home.
Hmm.
Um, but having taken my son home and not knowing what's wrong with him. He's crying all the time and he's not pooping. And then things weren't great with me and his dad. And it was just so much.
Yeah.
And, I didn't want to go back to Buffalo, but I needed to be back. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
needed to be around love and support and people that cared about my well-being.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I like this conversation we
Yeah.
having. Oh my god, I didn't think we was gonna get this deep.
Me
Like
neither. I'm like, ugh, hold it back, hold it back.
I was right. I wasn't trying to be deep. Like I'm trying to be fun and stuff.
No,
You know what I
no.
mean? Like I'm trying to like, but I gotta just.
We love the real, so yes. Well, potentially deep again.
Oh boy, here we go.
But more about the show. So on cycle 17, I want to talk about because I don't know if you have, or if you did, I missed it, but one part that really stuck out to me was the final five. It makes me emotional watching it, but the final five, and it's you, Dominique, Lisa, Allison, and Laura, and you're there doing a challenge with Miss J in Greece. And and you're all are kind of giving each other constructive feedback on different things and your photos and walk and etc. And at one point they were giving you constructive feedback and you kind of had a breakdown, I guess you could say, and or got emotional and you were like, I know what y'all bitches are trying to do, and then you walked outside. I want to
Period.
ask, because we know so much stuff about production and manipulation, all that kind of stuff behind the scenes now, were you referring to production at that point, or were you referring to the girls? Do you think it was a setup? Like, what were
Oh
you
no.
thinking?
Um, when I said I know what y'all bitches trying to do.
Hmm.
Let's talk about what them bitches were trying to do. Okay.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with production
Okay.
because what you guys don't see is the panel before that. Um, and there were things that happened at that panel and words that were said that Lisa and Dominique, because they were like this, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, and they were just like, I was just very upset at that panel, very upset. And after uh when they were when Tyra was promoting Cycle 17, I remember this, she even mentions that specific panel because it got so heated, but you guys never saw that.
Yeah, I'm like,
So,
I have no clue what you're talking about.
yes, like you guys never saw that, right? Because I'm assuming they initially were going to put that in the show, but once they took it from me, they can't they can't put it in the show anymore because now I have to be the bad guy, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So then that next challenge, Jay is like, who do you think is not ready? Who do you think is not ready? And, Lisa referenced what happened in the panel. They all said me. Allison was like, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to talk, I don't want to talk about this. And then Laura, she's so innocent. You know what I mean? She's like, Angelea, I love you, girl. Even though if you don't believe it, I love you. So I know she was genuine, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I know that Lisa and Dominique were not. Just based
Mm.
on interactions off camera and things that happened um
And
in the
it's so
house.
because I didn't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I did not get the impression that Dominique and Lisa were close.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes, they were.
Mm.
So then, I was like, man, fuck this. Man, y'all, I see what y'all trying to do. Y'all trying to put it out there because I'm a threat to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all trying to make it seem like that I'm not ready because y'all want to try to sway the judges and make it, she ain't ready because blah 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 blah. And baby, when I tell you it was hot as hell because I took my shoes off, I was so mad. And then the one of the camera guys,
Uh-huh.
oh my god, I broke the fourth wall. It was so funny. We're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to break the fourth wall, right?
Right.
Oh, I was so mad. This camera was on me, and I was like, I don't give a fuck.
They should have shown that.
They should have shown. Oh my god, I don't think they showed that. I don't think they
No,
showed it.
because
What?
that would be like one of those viral memes or like reaction gifs or
Iconic,
whatever.
okay? Because I looked right in that camera. I was like, I don't give a fuck, right? So I walked off, and I went out, sat outside. So of course Miss J came out, and then we had a heart. I felt like it was a heartfelt talk, and he was like, "Why
Mhm.
you think they saying this, baby girl? Like, like, why do you think?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Because I'm competition." He said, "Yeah. So get back in there and do your walk and do your thing."
Mm-hmm.
So when I was walking, because now I'm all cooled down, the bottles of my souls was fucking hot. Because I didn't realize because you mad, you got the adrenaline, you don't give a fuck about nothing. But then when I cooled down, I was like, God damn, I was really mad as hell because my feet is hot. Like this stone is hot. So that was so crazy. That was so
Oh,
crazy.
that was crazy. That was a crazy moment for sure. Very high emotions all around.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that Miss J recognized that they were like what they were trying to do. Also,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like they're intimidated by you. You're doing great. You
I'm a threat.
you're a threat. You probably
Mm-hmm.
just I don't know. Yeah, you're a threat all around. So it's just pushing their buttons.
And I'm a threat now, baby.
Yes. Still now
Especially since Bree done mm-hmm.
exploded
Okay.
everything, which kind of leads us into that because you were just talking about how Lisa and Dominique were trying to go against you at panel and trying to show that you or say that you weren't ready for it. Now, Bree kind of blew up the top model sphere by saying that Lisa was the one who talked to production about your past and why you were disqualified, and that's why you got disqualified. Um, do you have anything to say about that?
I'm gonna say, um, whatever Bree's saying she did that shit.
Mm,
Bree ain't gonna lie. Bree
yeah,
always gonna keep it 100. You know what I mean? I talk about this in the documentary. I keep saying documentary, so y'all don't get me talking about it's not called documentary. It's called documentary. Listen, okay. I talk how I talk, but I don't know how much of my story and what will be told in
sure.
this doc, but I really did put it all out there, and I even took accountability for you know for myself, because I acknowledge some things I did. You know what I mean? Like I just so I don't we gonna hold off on
Yeah.
me delving further, but whatever Bree's saying she did that shit.
So if you don't know the answer explicitly, how do you think that Bree knows that? Do you think Bree was there? Do you think Lisa told Bree that at one point?
You know what? Hmm. I would assume, I would make the educated assumption
Mm-hmm.
that there were people behind the scenes that worked on the show that perhaps told Bre, you
Sure.
know, because
Okay.
she just not gonna talk to just say it, and you know, I can't speak for her, and
Sure.
but yeah, whatever she's saying, she did, okay. But let me say this, um, so if y'all want to read about what happened to me before you see me speak about it, there's an article out there by a fantastic journalist named Aria Rashanian.
Okay.
And Aria um, reached out to me years ago because he knew something was not right.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started explaining, because nobody was listening to me, I would say things here and there, but nobody was listening to me, you know?
Yeah.
But when um, he took it to his bosses at Bustle, they were kind of on the fence at first because they were like, we don't know if there's a story there. And then when he told them everything I told him, they were like, whoa, what? So I just want to credit him for kind of putting that back, you know, putting that out there and giving it the platform that it deserved because it got people talking. You know, not as much as this ANTM Dr. Tyrant did, okay? Um, but it definitely gave me a voice because I felt like that people weren't listening, and I felt
Mm-hmm.
like people, you know, didn't care, and people were just, you know, were like, "Oh, she's mad, she's bitter, you know, she don't know what she's talking about, she's lying." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so he definitely gave me a voice um, to put put it out there, you know. And plus the photo shoot, baby, the photos, baby is tea. So go
Was
ahead and
was that the Daily was it Daily Mail article?
no, that
That's the
one,
thing?
the
Okay.
Daily Mail article was after I sued uh Tyra
Um,
and the entities that be.
okay.
This article, so that was the Daily Mail article was way before the Bustle one. When
Uh,
people long for, yeah, when people long forgot about what had happened with the lawsuit and everything, Aria knew that there was a deeper story there. So I don't
yeah.
know. I just shout
Shout
out
out
to
Aria.
Aria.
Yes. If you send me that,
The
or I mean,
article.
I can probably find it, but if you send me the link to the article, I'll include it in the description so people can check it out.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Awesome.
people can definitely, you can read about it. You know what I mean? Read about it, baby.
Read all about it, spread the word.
Read all about it.
Extra, extra.
Okay.
So I will not keep you too much longer, but I just want to say before we go, everyone, be sure to tune in to E on March 11th, I believe at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
for Dirty Rotten
Dir-
Scandals.
I was gonna say that.
ANTM.
I'll say it for you, boo. Dirty Rotten Scandals,
Yes,
America's Next Top Model. Okay, tune in
yes.
Wednesday, March 11th, 9 p.m. Back to back episodes.
It's gonna be explosive, I think.
It's gonna be explosive like diarrhea, honey. Okay,
It's all over
it's
all
gonna
over
be
the
all over the place. All over the place. Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Okay. You get a car. You get a car. Everybody get a car. Okay. When Oprah was giving out cars. Okay. And then you remember that when she was giving out cars, and then
uh-huh.
they were like the people got to pay taxes on them, and the taxes was like I don't know, some ridiculous amount of money.
Oprah pulled a tire there.
She said, "I'm gonna give you a little bit, but
Yeah.
you on your own, okay?
You got to do the rest.
Okay, you gotta do the rest. I'd have paid them taxes on that car, shit, okay? You don't pay no goddamn note. Shit, give
Yeah.
me that car, girl.
Paid
I'll
him for
find a
it.
way."
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for chatting. You are a beautiful person inside and out. I'm so glad we got to talk, and we will definitely have to catch up again after the E documentary.
Yes,
So then we know what they show and what they don't. So we'll be able to talk.
yes. I just want to say, I know you want to rap, but let me just say one more thing before we get off this here thing.
Yes.
I really do want to just thank everyone for the support and like for the people that have been following me for years, the new followers. It really honestly it makes me dang, like I don't know, I can't describe the words. I just feel like so appreciative, you know what I mean? Because after all these years,
Mm-hmm.
people still are keeping tabs on what's going on with me, and then I read the messages and I try to respond, and and people they share their stories about what happened to them, or um and it just you can just do you don't have to let your past define. That's what I want to say. You don't have to let your past define your future. You know what I mean? Like as
Yes.
long as you believe you got it, and as long as there's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
This life is meant to be lived. We all can be out here being successful. We all can could uplift each other. It's enough room for all of us. Um,
Amen.
so yeah, that's what I want to say.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. That's so true. And that's why, with that mindset, you are an award-winning journalist now, and you work in news production, and you're amazing.
Thank you. And I'm also if I can put my fellow top model sisters on and get them some shine. Okay, I had my girl Sarah Hartshorn on
Yes.
the morning show I produced. I had her on last week. Um Bree's scheduled to come on. I'm trying to get Dion on.
Amazing.
Um, all the girls that have been in the Netflix doc. Shannon, like if y'all want some, it'll be local time, but don't shit on local news now, okay? Because we the T, we the bee's knees, and we the T, and y'all got fans here. If
Mm-hmm.
y'all want to talk about the documentary and what y'all got going on, um, I would love to have y'all come on and talk to the anchors. I would love that's for Giselle. Who else was on there? Shandy, Kenya, Ebony, Shannon, of course, Bree, of course, and I got Dion come, scheduling that. And who else was on there? Who else am I missing someone?
Whitney. Whitney.
And Whitney, yes. How can I forget? Yes, 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 yes. Whitney, the first plus size model. She wasn't really plus size, okay?
Right.
So come on now, all y'all, come on,
Yeah,
let's do it. You know?
I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. We will definitely chat again. I
Yes.
appreciate your
Thank you for
time.
having me, B.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.